Watch Me rapper sentenced to 30 years, the fall of Silentó, and the tragic truth. Hi everyone, he made the world dance with just one phrase. Watch me whip Nae Nae. But behind the viral hit and boyish smile was a troubled soul spiraling out of control. Years after becoming a household name rapper, Silentó is now facing 30 years behind bars for a shocking act that left his fans stunned and a family forever broken. What happened to the teen sensation who once lit up every school dance and internet meme? How did he go from chart-topping success to shooting his own cousin in cold blood? And what dark battles was he fighting behind the scenes that no one saw or chose to ignore? Today, we're diving into the tragic fall of Ricky Hawk, better known as Silentó, a cautionary tale of mental illness, fame, and a crime that could not be undone. What really happened in the final days before his world unraveled, let's find out. Dear friends, the rise and fall of Silentó, born Ricky Lamar Hawk, is one of the most tragic cautionary tales in recent music history. In 2015, he exploded onto the scene as a teenage sensation with Watch Me Whip Nae Nae, a viral dance anthem that captivated millions. But behind the fame, the record deals, and the flashy music videos, there was a young man slowly unraveling, consumed by mental illness, haunted by childhood trauma, and increasingly volatile in the public eye. On the surface, Silentó was riding high. Just 17 when his breakout hit took over the internet, he became a symbol of youthful fun. But while the world was watching him dance, no one was truly watching him suffer. In a 2019 appearance on the medical talk show, the Dr. Silentó spoke with unfiltered honesty about his mental health struggles. He admitted to battling depression and revealed that he'd grown up in a home surrounded by violence and untreated psychological illness. "I've been fighting demons my whole life," he said. "Depression doesn't leave when you become famous. It just adds more pressure. Those demons didn't go away. They got louder." And in the years following his sudden fame, the cracks in Silentó's life began to show. In August 2021, he was arrested in California for domestic violence. The very next day, he was back in trouble with the law this time for swinging a hatchet at strangers in a home he entered while reportedly searching for his girlfriend. Though no one was injured, the incident painted a disturbing picture of his state of mind. Just 2 months later, he was arrested again in Georgia after driving 143 miles per hour on Interstate 85. These weren't isolated incidents. They were warning sign spirals of impulsive and erratic behavior that no one could afford to ignore. Then came January 21, 2021, the day everything changed. According to the DeKalb County Police Department, officers responded to a call in the early morning hours and found a man lying in the street with multiple gunshot wounds. That man was 34-year-old Frederick Rooks III Silentó's own cousin. 10 bullet casings were scattered near the body. Rooks had been pronounced dead at the scene. Security footage from a nearby house would later show a white BMW SUV speeding away from the area just moments after the gunfire. It was the same vehicle Silentó had reportedly used to pick up his cousin that night. Within days, investigators confirmed that the car belonged to him, and Silentó was arrested on February 1st. During his interviews with detectives, the rapper made a confession that stunned even those familiar with his past troubles. He admitted to shooting Rooks. Ballistics matched the shell casings at the crime scene to the gun Silentó had in his possession at the time of his arrest. The evidence was damning, and it didn't take long for prosecutors to build a solid case. In court, Silentó did not fight the charges. In fact, he entered a rare plea, guilty but mentally ill. This meant he acknowledged committing the crime, but claimed he was suffering from significant mental health issues at the time. It was a plea that sought understanding, not absolution. The state agreed to drop the murder charge as part of a plea deal. Instead, he pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter, aggravated assault possession of a firearm during a crime, and concealing the death of another. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison. For the family of Frederick Rooks, the sentence didn't feel like justice. They had lost a brother, a son, a man loved by those around him. In statements to the court, his siblings expressed disappointment that Silentó didn't receive a harsher sentence. They saw the tragedy for what it was, not just a moment of violence, but a life stolen by someone who was supposed to love and protect him. But this was never just a case of cold-blooded murder. The deeper you look into Ricky Hawk's life, the more you see a pattern of untreated trauma and unaddressed psychological breakdown. His publicist, Chanel Hudson, later revealed that Silentó had attempted suicide in 2002. She described a man battling a series of mental health illnesses with little support. Silentó himself once said, "I don't know if I can truly be happy. I don't know if these demons will ever go away." In a courtroom stripped of music stage lights and fans, Silentó was no longer a celebrity. He was a broken man facing the reality of what he had done. The once viral teen idol now sat in silence as a judge sealed his fate. And yet, as shocking as the murder was, it didn't come out of nowhere. It was the culmination of years of silent suffering, emotional instability, and a system that repeatedly failed to intervene in time. We live in a society that celebrates celebrity, but often ignores the toll it takes, especially on the young, the vulnerable, and the unwell. Silentó's story forces us to confront uncomfortable questions. What if more had been done when he cried for help on national television? What if someone had truly listened when he spoke about the demons inside his mind? Would Frederick Rooks still be alive today? Would Silentó be a thriving young artist, not a convicted killer? The truth is, we may never know the full answer. But what we do know is this. Behind the lights of viral fame was a young man slipping further and further away. Fame gave him a platform, but it didn't save him from himself. And in the end, one cousin's life was lost, another's was destroyed, and two families were left to grieve in very different ways. The court may have closed the case, but the tragedy of Silentó remains open. A stark reminder that mental illness doesn't care about fame, fortune, or followers. And if it goes untreated long enough, it doesn't just break the person suffering from it, it shatters everyone around them. Let us take a moment not just to remember the music, but to reflect on the warning signs we too often overlook. For some, the dance ends long before the music stops. In the end, the courtroom fell silent, but the echoes of this tragedy still linger. Silentó, once the face of viral joy and teenage dance floors, is now a sobering reminder that fame doesn't shield you from mental torment. From the height of stardom to a 30-year prison sentence, his fall wasn't sudden. It was a slow, painful unraveling that no one stopped in time. Frederick Rooks lost his life. Silentó lost his freedom, and perhaps this isn't just a story about a rapper's downfall. It's a warning about the cost of untreated pain, ignored cries for help, and how quickly a young life can spiral out of control. It's about the demons we dance around until they finally catch up. If this story struck a chord, give it a like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the stories that matter.